Xbox console sale rise as PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2 see year over year declines. Despite ongoing restructuring within Microsoft's gaming division, Xbox hardware sales appear to be showing signs of recovery. New sales data indicates that Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S consoles posted significant year over year growth in the United States, outperforming expectations during a challenging period for the company. The increase comes as Microsoft continues to reshape its Xbox business through leadership changes, studio restructuring, and a renewed focus on its long-term gaming strategy. Xbox hardware sales more than doubled. According to industry data from Circana, Xbox Series X and Series S console sales more than doubled in the US compared to the same period last year. While the percentage increase is substantial, Xbox still trails both Sony and Nintendo in total hardware sales. Nintendo Switch 2 remained the best selling console for the month in both units sold and total revenue generated, with PlayStation 5 finishing second. Even so, the strong year over year growth represents a positive development for Xbox after several years of slower hardware momentum. PlayStation and Nintendo experienced declines. Although Xbox posted impressive growth, both of its competitors recorded lower hardware sales than they did a year ago. Nintendo Switch 2 experienced the steepest decline, with sales falling by 79% year over year. However, the comparison comes with an important caveat. The Switch 2 launched in June 2025, resulting in exceptionally high launch month sales driven by pre orders and limited retail inventory. As a result, matching those numbers 1 year later was always going to be difficult. PlayStation 5 sales also declined, dropping 19% compared to the previous year. Sony recently increased PS5 console prices in several markets, a move that may have contributed to slowing hardware demand. Price increase may have helped Xbox. Microsoft has also announced higher prices for Xbox Series consoles, but those increases had not yet taken effect during the reporting period. With the new pricing scheduled to begin on August 1st, many consumers may have chosen to purchase Xbox hardware before prices increased, potentially giving June and July sales an additional boost. Whether that momentum continues after the higher prices go into effect remains to be seen. Xbox still faces major challenges. The positive sales figures arrived during one of the most significant transitions in Xbox history. Microsoft recently announced plans to eliminate thousands of jobs across its gaming division while restructuring several parts of the business. The company had also adjusted its publishing strategy and continues investing heavily in major franchises such as Halo, Fallout, and The Elder Scrolls. Although hardware sales are improving, Xbox still faces the challenge of rebuilding consumer confidence while navigating broader changes within the organization. Questions surround the next generation. The recent hardware data also arrives amid growing uncertainty about the future of the console market. Microsoft has acknowledged that rising component costs may affect plans for its next generation hardware, reportedly named Project Helix. Early expectations call for a premium hybrid system combining console and PC capabilities, but those plans could evolve depending on manufacturing costs and market conditions. Reports have also suggested Sony may be reevaluating the timing of its next generation PlayStation for similar reasons, as hardware production remains more expensive than many companies anticipated. These factors could extend the lifespan of the current console generation beyond what many players initially expected. Current generation continues to grow. For gamers, a longer console generation could provide additional value from existing hardware. Developers continue releasing major titles across Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch 2, meaning players are unlikely to want to have new experiences anytime soon. While Microsoft's broader gaming business remains in the middle of a major transformation, the latest sales figures suggest that interest in Xbox hardware has not disappeared. Whether this resurgence represents a temporary spike driven by upcoming price increases or the beginning of a longer term recovery will become clearer in the months ahead. Yeah, I think one big aspect or one big what's the word I'm looking for condition that led to these Xbox console sales improving is with people no longer saying, "What do I need an Xbox for?" I'll just buy it if I want a game. I'll just buy it on play. I'll just buy a PlayStation console because they're moving everything there. And Asha Sharma said, "We're gonna stop that. Halo's not going to PlayStation. Gears of War is not going to PlayStation." Um, so I think that led to I think that's one of the conditions, or one of the reasons that sales on consoles have gone up for Xbox. The second is also, in addition, uh, I think just Asha Sharma, the way she's running the company, it it sure instills a lot more confidence than the way Phil Spencer was running the company. So I think people, not just me, but other people, see, like, maybe Xbox isn't headed for destruction. Maybe the ship can be turned around, and Xbox is not the Titanic. Um, so I think also that I think the price changes also um, were uh, were another reason that the consoles have uh, for the sales of the consoles, because fear of missing out. People didn't want to miss out on the old price, so they figured if they could afford it, get it now before prices go up. So I think those are a few of the reasons that the sale of Xbox consoles. PlayStation, I don't know what to say about PlayStation. I don't think, actually, it probably would not have affected June, but July, they did make the announcement, no more physical games after 2028. So people might have been thinking with PlayStation, well, but that's the thing. I don't know if that would have, even if PlayStation doesn't reverse course, that doesn't mean right now, unless people just are saying, I'm not going to support PlayStation going all digital. So if they want to go all digital, I revoke any support from me that I was offering, whether it's buying their hardware, buying their subscriptions, buying, so that might that might be reason. As far as Nintendo Switch, I have no idea, other than maybe people, if they wanted one, they purchased one by now. That's all I can think about the Switch too, because it's been out for about, we're coming, what, 15 months since the Switch 2 came out. So I think, while obviously websites were crashing when the pre-orders went live, I'm thinking anyone who got one already was going to get one. Well, and yes, there are people that couldn't afford it yet. I'm not saying they're not going to sell any more consoles. I'm just saying people who um, people who wanted it right away and weren't waiting for a bunch of games that they had to have the Switch 2 for. Obviously, they purchased it right now. But really, what big reasons is there to get a Switch 2? I couldn't name any. So um, they had the regular games, Donkey Kong. They had, wasn't it Donkey Kong Jamboree? I think they had they had new Super Mario games. So they had the original games that people were expecting to see on the Switch 2. Um, so yeah, but I just think the Switch 2 is in a cooling down period. Um, that's the reason console sales have decreased for them. Time for the next story.